Okay, we're in good shape with our system up and running, named, and talking over Wi-Fi. Now let's ditch the serial connection and get a remote session to the board over Wi-Fi alone. Then we'll spend just a minute looking around and getting comfortable with what's there. I'm calling this our orientation. In this demo, we'll unplug the serial USB cable from the Edison, connect to the device using SSH using its MDNS network name that we set up, and then we'll take a brief look at the directory structure and just kind of get oriented to the machine and practice copying files to the device using SCP. Should be a pretty quick one. Here we go. We'll jump back out to the console, and the first thing that we want to do is ping the MDNS name of our device and make sure that we're able to see that on the network. Remember, we have to be connected to the same network as that device is. We are getting an IP4 reply now, so that's good. We can SSH to the name of our device, of course using root as the username. Here we are. We'll use my password. I like to choose one that's easy to type, and we are sitting at the Linux prompt. Now at this prompt, the root is obviously my username, my Edison is the name of the device, and the tilde is my home directory. I'm going to go ahead and go back up to the root directory, and you can see I'm at the root directory now. And now if I list my files and folders, you can see that there's a bunch of stuff on this device. Now if you're not familiar with Linux and how Linux works, join the crowd. But there are actually some really good Linux orientation courses in the Pluralsight library, so I strongly encourage you to go look up some of those. I'm going to jump into the home directory and list that out, and then jump into root, and you can see that now we're back in home. So home is actually an alias for home and root, and that's where we want to keep all of our files that all of our projects that we're going to be creating. So let's go ahead and get a document to land right here. Get just any file to land right here. So I'm going to jump back to my host by hitting Control-D. That'll get me out of SSH and back to my host on my local machine. And now I just want to create a simple file that says hello world, and we'll put that into a file called a.txt. There we go. So now I've got a.txt, and if I type that out, I've got hello world. Let's go ahead and copy this to the device using root, the username. We'll say myedison.local. Now remember that I can use this MDNS name anywhere and everywhere that I would otherwise have to specify the IP address. And this is where it's really nice, because you can set up your device and you can use it with that name, and then if your device gets reprovisioned and gets a different IP address, it really doesn't matter. As long as you give it that same name, all your scripts are going to work just fine. Now with SSH, this is all we had to put. With SCP, we want to use a colon and then specify where we want this to go. And I've forgotten one thing. I'm going to run back here and specify a.txt. That's the name of my file. I want this to just go right into my home directory. So let's go ahead and hit that. It should prompt me for my password. I'll type in my very easy to remember password. And it looks like that file has copied up. So let's go ahead and SSH. I'll recall that from my history here. Jump back onto the machine. There we go, list it out, and you can see that in my home directory I now have the a.txt file. So that's kind of the Linux way of getting a file from here to there, and that's how we're going to copy all of our files to the machine.